Hey guys, we are back with some more Vegas Golden Knights Eastside Hockey Manager, and in this one we are probably going to go the rest of the way. There's not much that we really need to do. We're in a good spot. 30, 14, and 5 currently is our record, 65 points. Still at the top of the West. Not by much, but we're there. Carl Forss is still out with a rotator cuff injury for the next 2 weeks. Reimer is getting a little bit of a break as he has played the past, 8 games in a row. So we're going to get Ruben in there for a little bit. And we will see what this stretch of the season brings us, as we have 3 games in a row here. The Blues, the Stars, and the Capitals all back to back to back. So I think we'll start Ruben for 2 out of the 3 of these, and then we'll get Reimer right back in for the game against the Capitals. Theodore's injured for a few days. That shouldn't be too bad of an injury, I don't think. Well, it is a major injury, so we're going to have to take him out. We'll put Harris in. Yeah, sure. And we'll simulate this game against the Blues. We'll see what happens. A 5-4 shootout win. Goals by Reiko, Panarin, Lazaro, and Panarin once again. And then Panarin in the shootout to end it against the St. Louis Blues. And a game against the Stars coming up here. Let's see what we have. We have a 5-4 loss. Goals by Smith, Reiko, Larson, and Smith. But it's not enough to win against the Dallas Stars. So we'll definitely get James Reimer back in, as that is 2 games in a row where Ruben allowed, I believe, at least 4 goals. So Reimer will start against the Capitals here, and we have another 5-4 loss, this time in the shootout against the Capitals. Goals by Timu, Veleno, Brandstrom, and Larson, but Kuznetsov ends it in the shootout for the Capitals. So that's not what I like to see. Definitely could have done a lot better there. I believe that was a 1-1-1 stretch over those past 3 games. So I mean, again, it's not like we're on the brink of being out of the playoffs, where those games would have meant a lot more. But, you prefer not to get too many losses, especially towards the end of the season. We're in February now, so we're getting towards that stretch where if we're going to consider trading players, then it might happen, especially if you go on a bad run there. So we'll take... Actually, Harris has been pretty good the past few games here. Yeah, 7.77 average rating there. He had 2 assists in those 3 games. It's not terrible, but I'm still going to take him out for Theodore, as Theodore is the main guy there. And I'll take Miller off the power play, get Theodore back in. And I believe that's it. Yep, Reimer is in. So we'll get up to the game against the Penguins here. And I think this next stretch is going to determine whether we make a move at the deadline or not. So let's see. Game against Pittsburgh. There you go. That's a solid win. Smith, Kucera, and Svetlov with the goals. Crosby with the goal as well. But we stifled their offense, which is good to see. Especially after those past few games there where we allowed at least 4 goals per game. So the Wild with a 4-3 win over the Senators. The Rangers with a 3-2 win over the Lightning, I believe I saw. And we will get to a game here against the Sharks. Big game here. Nice win. 3-0 win. Lazaro, Smith, and Svetlov kind of out of order there. But all those 3 guys getting goals in the shutout victory against the Sharks. Big win there, as they are a pretty good team. And that just boosts our confidence for future games. So a 4-3 win for the Ducks over the Hurricanes. 3-1 win for the Rangers over the Flames. Antonio Strangers is injured for 2 weeks. Any other news here regarding us? Nope, doesn't look like it. A 5-2 win for the Predators. A 3-1 win for the Senators. A 5-1 win for the Red Wings. And a 4-3 win for the Maple Leafs. Player of the week is Jack Hughes. And we have a game against the Flyers, the first place Flyers, and that is a huge win. Our rivals in the Philadelphia Flyers from the finals of last year. Voracek and Provorov with the goals for them, but Veleno, Svetlov, Treloar, Kucera, Smith, Treloar, and Svetlov again with the goals in a 7-2 victory over the Philadelphia Flyers. So that is a huge win right there. I don't think we need to make any trades after that stretch right there, especially those games against San Jose and Philly. Gave me a lot of confidence in this group that over the past few games I didn't necessarily have, but that was clearly just a bad stretch, and we're now back on track. I don't think there's much of a reason to stop here, and oh my, 8-7 shootout loss. So, and that was against the Winnipeg Jets. I'm not gonna take back any of what I just said just because of this game, but still, we had an offensive explosion there, and it looks like we did it in comeback fashion as well. They had a 7-5 lead at one point, and we got 2 goals after that to send it to a shootout, and Stefan Larsson got a goal there. So, Veleno, Panarin, Smith, and Treloar and York. Nonetheless, it unfortunately wasn't enough for some reason, but, I mean, yeah, new NHL record, I would imagine. New highest scoring league game. Yeah. So, Carl Forrest begins full practice. He is back and ready to go. So we'll get Forrest back in. And who is coming out? So Treloar at a 664, Kucera at a 655. I'm not sure who had what before in terms of their previous average rating when the episode started. I'm pretty sure Treloar had like a 675 and Kucera had a 655. So Kucera's around where he was before. Game log, yeah, he had a pretty bad game there, -3. I mean, I would imagine at least most of the roster had a -2 in that game, just because, yeah, it was a, in general, bad game. But we'll take Kucera out anyway. We'll get Forrest in, and we'll place Forrest on the second line. And actually, you know what, just because the lines have been jumbled up so much as of recent, we'll just go best lines here. We'll see what it does. I'll get Larsson over here, and that'll be about it, I think. No, actually, no. I want York and Theodore together. But other than that, yeah, that's it. That's what we needed to do. So we will leave Reimer in for as long as we can, really, because he has clearly been, I wouldn't say the better goaltender, but he's been getting us wins. So, you know, you kind of have to go with him. Game against the Oilers, 6-3 win. Larsson, Lappalainen, Veleno, York, Theodore, and York with the goals against the Edmonton Oilers. 2-goal game for York, not too shabby. We have, what do we have going on here? It wants me to reply to something. Smith rumors, deny. I mean, this is, and Krug rumors as well. I mean, this might be our last year in this GM mode, so I kind of want to hold on to those guys, especially since they've been so good for us over this GM mode. I'm not sure if I want to go another year. You guys let me know in the comments, but it has been quite a bit since the start of this GM mode. I think it's almost been a year now, hasn't it? Since we started this GM mode. Like a real year, obviously not a sim year, but a real year. And there is a 4-3 loss to the Red Wings. Goals by Thompson, Panarin, and Svetlov. So, I mean, I think we're still in pretty good shape. I don't see too many things to worry about. I mean, at least anything that we're, you know, not used to. Because obviously this is a bit more of an offensive simulator than what we're used to with EA Sports, but still, I think, yeah, for the most part, what I've been seeing, we're looking fine. Reiko and Lappalainen again, and then Krug and Smith with the goals in a 5-2 win over the Ducks, as I would expect over the Ducks, who are 22, 33, and 6. Much like how they are in real life right now. Muzzin claimed off waivers. Anything for us? Does not look like it. All right. Coming up on the trade deadline here, I believe, which is February 23rd. The Capitals have a 4-0 win over the Canadiens, a 5-2 win for the Sharks over the Preds. And a couple of injuries going on here. Nothing regarding us, I don't believe, though. So we're just going to keep going through this. And do I want to make a trade? I don't think so. I mean, our penalty kill, it's just been terrible as usual. But our power play has been doing all right. We're not in a bad spot, so I don't think you make any trades. I really don't. We just kind of have to rely on what we have at the moment. And I don't think there's too much we could do to improve the roster as it is right now, you know? I mean, Teemu Pulkkinen is the only thing that has been at least not where we expected him to be this season. But everyone else, even Chalor's gotten up to his 7 average rating. He was at, a 670 something before, so he's done fine. And defensively, the only one who's slightly underperforming is Adam Larsson, who has a 694, so he's close to his 7 average rating, meaning he's not that bad. And then James Reimer, 890 save percentage with a 704 average rating. And again, for goaltenders in this game, at least for an offensive team, as long as the average rating is above a 7, there's really no reason to worry. And especially when you're in a good position in the league. I mean, we're first in the Western Conference and first in the league for that matter. So let's just keep going. Game against the Flames. Coming up here. 5-3 victory. Teemu Pulkkinen, Panarin, Larsson, York, and Reichel Pulkkinen with the goals against the Calgary Flames, who are not in a good position right now. 27-30-4 are the Flames, so not looking too good for them. I don't think there's anything regarding us going on here. This is all just trade deadline stuff, so we'll just read all here, and we'll skip right past the trade deadline, not making any trades. You're going to trust this team and hope that we can get it done. Game against the Canucks, that is going to be a 4-3 shootout win, so decent game there. Would have liked to get the regulation win, but I guess it doesn't really matter too much, given that we're in first, and I'm not sure if we're really going to be competing with that team there. So the Islanders with a 4-1 victory over the Devils. And we are going up here against the Kings. 5-2 win for the Predators against the Wild. They're at 8th in the conference. So yeah, I don't think the Canucks are a team that we'll be competing with. Well, actually, technically we could end up going against them in the playoffs. But at least in terms of standings in the regular season, I don't think we have to worry about the Canucks. So Panarin with 2 goals there, Fours with a goal, and then Smith and Thompson with the other goals to have a 5-2 victory over the Kings. And another game against the Kings, we have a 4-3 overtime loss this time. Goals by Svetlov, Reichel Pulkkinen, and Smith, and then Sjölund with the overtime goal for the Kings, who are in 4th with a record of 31-27-6. So the West, a little weak in really every team other than the top 3. The Sharks, the Predators, and your Golden Knights. Every other team is pretty close, from the Kings to the Jets, really. I mean, it's the same way it is as in real life, basically. Because, you know, with the West being so close, and that was ridiculous. Anaheim's losing streak of like, what? They have 2 wins in 21 games or something ridiculous like that. And they're still somehow in a playoff race. Jeez. So Riley Smith is the player of the month. Rookie of the month is Bill Locke of the Rangers. Offensive player of the month, Sidney Crosby. And defensive player of the month is Alex Pietrangelo. So the Blackhawks have a 4-3 win over the Flames. The Maple Leafs had a 5-2 win over the Canadiens. And we have a game against the Panthers here on March 3rd. So we'll get there real quick. Avalanche with a 2-0 win over the Canadiens. 4-2 win for the Flyers. And here we go. Game against the Panthers. 4-3 win. That's a solid win against a good team as well. Goals by Smith, Larson, Fours, and Veleno. And we take the W for our 40th win of the season. Game against the Devils. And I think here we'll get Ruben in there. Because, yeah, it's been a while since he's been in there. So we'll take Reimer out. Game against the Devils, and that is a 3-2 overtime victory. Goals by Panarin, Thompson, and Panarin with the OT winner against the New Jersey Devils, who are ninth in the Eastern Conference. Good win. And the Stars have a 4-3 victory over the Bruins. What else do we have? We have a Carolina Hurricanes victory over the Blues 4-3. We have a game against the Blue Jackets on the 7th. The Senators with a 4-3 victory over the Maple Leafs. Flames with a 4-3 victory against the Penguins, I believe I saw. Game against the Blue Jackets, that is going to be a 4-2 loss. So we get the first 2 goals of the game, Thompson and Smith, but then it's all Blue Jackets from there. Larkin, Lappin, Nelson, and Reeder with the goals for them. So that's an unfortunate loss there, but it does, however, come on the shoulders of Nicholas Rubin. We didn't have Reimer in there, to be fair, so, just getting Rubin some games here, see if we can somehow warm him up before playoffs. I don't think so, because he hasn't been too good, to be honest, with the exception of a few games like this one. But Svetlov, Krug, Panarin, and Thompson in a 4-2 victory over the Bruins. But for the most part, it's definitely going to be Reimer in the playoffs for as long as we can go. 4-2 victory over the Maple Leafs. Goals by Lazaro, Larson, Thompson, and Panarin in the last minute as well. So, pretty solid win. Not too much to complain about. I believe Jack Eichel was the player of the week. Yes, he is. Let's get Reimer back in, as I believe, Rubin, 867, 655 average rating. Not too good there. We'll get Reimer back in and finish off the season with him. Maybe we'll get one more stretch of games for Rubin in there, but that should be about it, because we really can't afford to drop too many here, as I would like to make a push for the President's Trophy, but if Rubin is in there for too many games, then, especially with the way he's been playing, then doubtful that's going to happen. So there is a solid 5-1 victory over the Flyers, with goals by Forrest, Teemu Pukkanen, Panarin, Thompson, and Larson. As we keep rolling through this season, 44, 17, and 8 now, so obviously the 60-win season isn't possible at this point. I didn't expect it with this team, to be honest, but, we're still definitely one of the best teams in the NHL. And we have a shootout loss against the New Jersey Devils. Goals by Larson and Reichel Pukkanen, and then Panarin with the goal in the shootout, but that is not enough against the New Jersey Devils, who get goals by Hischier and Henrique, and Hischier and Everly in the shootout. Just enough to get by your Vegas Golden Knights. Lazaro suffers injury for 10 days. That is unfortunate. Groin strain. I mean, that's pretty much the most common injury in this game, to what I can gather. So we'll take Lazaro out. We'll put Kucera in. Hopefully Kucera does a good job, because we kind of need him to. And Teemu Pukkanen is down to a 677. So it looks like he's kind of lost the magic touch there on the fourth line, unfortunately. And is Reimer still in? Yes, he is. He's only been in for 2 games, so we'll keep him in there. I think we'll keep him in there until at least the first or second game of April. Then we'll get Rubin a couple of games just to give Reimer a rest before the playoffs, and then we'll get Reimer in for the last game. So a 4-3 loss against the Dallas Stars, goals by Krug, and 2 goals by Teemu Pukkanen. So each time I'm calling out Teemu Pukkanen, he gets a couple of goals here, but that's not really bringing up his average rating too much, unfortunately, because whenever he has a good game, then he'll suddenly have a bad one. So yeah, not looking too good there. But we have a 4-3 victory over the Flames. Goals by Larson, Lapalainen, Svetlov, and Reichel Pukkanen. 45, 18, and 9 on the season. And not much going on there. Blues, they have a 4-0 victory. And we have a game against the Canucks coming up on the 21st. 5-1 win for the Maple Leafs over the Wild. Game against the Canucks, that is going to be a 5-4 loss. Goes by Panarin, Thompson, Lapalainen, and Smith. But the Canucks outplayed us for a little bit there, especially in the third. 4-3 win for the Flames over the Ducks. 4-3 win for the Red Wings over the Penguins. Nice rivalry renewed there. Game against the Sharks, big game, nice win. Lapalainen, Forrest, Teemu Pukkanen, Veleno, and Thompson with the goals. I believe did I see something about an injury there? No, I did not. Okay. Actually, it was Patrick Raffle injured. Okay. All right. That's what I thought. So at least it was no one on our main roster there. Wah. So prospects are going down like crazy here. He's out for 3 weeks. Game against the Blackhawks. That is going to be a 6-5. 6-5 in the shootout and a 4-3 loss against the Blackhawks. Goals by Thompson, Smith, and Reichel Palkinen. But oh my, this is a heck of a shootout here. Goals by Panarin, Forrest, Larson, Svetlov, and Krug in the shootout, but still not enough to get by the Blackhawks, who are currently in 8th with a record of 36, 32, and 7. And we're just going to try to get through the rest of the season here without too much trouble, as we have for the majority of the season. But again, an area of concern for us has been the penalty kill for sure. I mean, that's always been an area of concern. But, at least Lazaro is back now. Too many L's on this team, man. Get so confused. Removed from injured reserve, and we will take, Kusera off. He's been bad. So, Lazaro back on. Reimer, how many games in a row have you played? You played 7. I'll get you... Yeah, we'll take you up till after the game against Nashville, and we'll get him out for a couple of games, and then we'll get him back in for the final game of the season. 4-1 loss against the Blackhawks, goal by Veleno. But, so Chicago has been on top of us recently. Have us scouted very well. And we do not have a game here. Penguins with a 3-2 win over the Bruins. We have a game against Coyotes here coming up. So let's take a look what's happening. A 9-3 victory over the 14th place Coyotes. Goes by Timo Pulkkinen. That's a good game for him to get back and rolling up to where he was to, get into form in the playoffs. And then goes by Smith, Panarin, Forrest, Lazaro, Brandstrom, Reichel Pulkkinen, Smith, and Larson for a 9-3 victory. So pretty impressive there. 10 overtime losses already on the season, 20 regulation losses, but it doesn't matter too much as I believe we are still first in the conference. We might even still be first in the entire league, who knows. Let's see, that's going to be a 6-3 loss against the Nashville Predators, goals by Smith, Veleno, and Thompson, but that is a solid loss against Nashville, and they're actually creeping up close on us. Well, not too close, but in terms of wins, they're only 2 wins behind us, so they've been losing less in overtime and just more in regulation. We have 104, they have 95, and we're still on the top spot for the President's Trophy. We're going to get Ruben in there for a final time this season, unless we have to, by chance, get him in there for the playoffs, which would not be a good thing. So we're going to get him in there. Yeah, all the contracts expiring. We'll check the Player of the Month, Philip Forsberg. Rookie of the Month, Hunter Jones of the Stars. Offensive Player of the Month, Philip Forsberg. And Defensive Player of the Month, Erik Karlsson, still on the Senators. So game against the Sharks with Ruben in there. 4-1 win, solid. Solid game for Ruben. Goals by Thompson, Smith, Lapalainen, and Veleno. And we're looking pretty good going into the playoffs here. If we could get to 50 wins, that'd be nice. And I will definitely send the scout out. All right, scouting is done. Let's get to the game against the Canucks on the 4th of April. 5-4 win for the Red Wings over the Devils. And we have a 4-3 win for the Sabres over the Hurricanes. We're not in good shape at the moment. Currently sitting in 14th. Game against the Canucks. Can this be 49? Yes, it is. 5-3 victory. And there's another W for Ruben. Goes by Larson, Veleno, Theodore, Panarin, and Smith. And I think it'd be fitting if we got James Reimer in there for the 50th win of the season. And new Golden Knights top points from right winger. Riley Smith's 87 points is a new record for a right winger. Man, cannot talk. Anyway, Predators with a 4-1 win. And we have a game against the Oilers. This should be number 50. And it is a 5-3 victory against them. Goals by Lazaro, Larson, Fors, Thompson, and Svetlov for a nice victory. Last game of the regular season, and then we'll check out all the stats and we will see who we have in the playoffs. So game against Calgary, game 82, may as well view it. First period, goals by Larson and Teemu Pulkkinen. Second period, nothing doing. Third period, goals by Teemu Pulkkinen again and Treloar. So the one thing I'll say about Teemu is that when he scores goals, he scores them in bunches. Right? 2 goals here against the Stars, 2 goals just now against the Calgary Flames. So he could still obviously be useful in the playoffs, and I hope he is, given his veteran status and all the great seasons he's had for us in the past. Oh, no. No! James Reimer out for 10 days with a groin strain. Of course. Of course. Okay, so we're going to have to start the playoffs with Nicholas Rubin. That is... yike. Alright, so we're going to have to call up Cam Rowe here as the backup goaltender. Yikes. So, we're going up against the Edmonton Oilers in round 1. I'm just going to save right now just in case. And yeah, that's an unfortunate way to start the playoffs. Luckily, it's not for too long. Right? It's not a long-term injury. It's only for 10 days, so we can at least live a little bit. And the good news is as well that the playoffs don't start for another few days. So I think we're going until at least game 4 without Reimer. Maybe game 3, if we're lucky, he'll be back early. But if not, then, I would say until at least game 4 without Reimer. So we really have to play solid defensively in front of Rubin for sure. But let's check out the end of the season stats. So here we go. May as well do goaltenders first. So Reimer has a .887 save percentage, 4 shutouts, and a 7 average rating. Rubin, .872 save percentage, 665 average rating. Not the greatest, obviously, but we're an offensive team. Cam York, 51 points. Shea Theodore with 46. Krug with 38. Miller, 33. So he definitely slowed down there towards the end of the season. The second half of the season, really. Because I remember last we checked, he had 31 points. Now he's at 33. So he did not have a good second half of the season there, at least offensively. Now, luckily, his defense seemed to be pretty good as he's still at a 710 average rating. So that's fine with me. Eric Brandstrom with 26 points, 718 average rating. Adam Larson with 17 points, 689 average rating. So he was the only one below a 7. But that is fine with me. He was close to a 7. So I can't really complain too much. Plus minus, Cam York plus 59, jeez. Shea Theodore plus 29. Adam Larson plus 19. Miller plus 18. Krug plus 10. Brandstrom plus 7. Harris plus 4. Wu plus 2. And that'll do it for defensemen. Now forwards. Let's see. So Riley Smith led our team in points this year, 87 with 42 goals. There's a reason why he's our captain, and this is why. Consistently been one of our best offensive players throughout the series, including this season. He's 33 years of age, so he's getting up there in age, but he's still getting a lot of points, along with Veleno, who, of course, had another 30-goal season, 34 goals to be specific, 80 points. Panarin with 79 points. Svetlov with 75, 55 assists. That is the most on the team, I believe. And Stefan Larsson with 69 points. Reichel Pulkkinen with 62. Lapalainen with 55. Thompson with 53. Fours with 45 and 64. Remember, he had that huge injury, so he probably, more than likely, would have a lot more points if he played the entire season. Lazaro with 40. Teemu Pulkkinen, unfortunately, took a little bit of a nosedive this year. Recovered a little bit towards the end. 961. I wish. 691 average rating. 32 points, 20 goals. So he still got 20 goals there on the fourth line. That's still respectable, of course. But the average rating did take a bit of a dip there. Travis Treloar with 15 points in 37 games. Kusera with 6 in 34. Plus minus, Reichel Pulkkinen has the highest, of course, with 37 being the former, Selke Trophy winner. No complaints there. Shots on goal, Riley Smith led with 291. shooting percentage. Teemu Pulkkinen, so again, he continues to show that he's still offensively a good player. I mean, 24.1 shooting percentage on 83 shots. That's nothing to sneeze at. And just unfortunately, defensively, he was kind of exposed a little bit, -1 as well. And then average ratings, you have Smith with a 787, Panarin 785, Larson 767, Reichel Pulkkinen 767 as well, Velena with a 756, Svetlov with a 746, Thompson with a 739, Lapalainen with a 730, and Lazaro with a 719, Forbes with a 709, Trelawney with a 705, Pulkkinen with a 691, and Crucera 650. So there are your stats for the NHL. Let's check the AHL real quick. So Kendry with 61 points, Landstrom with 59, Suzuki 46, Blomqvist 44, Soderlund with 42, Bishop 36, Kupari 35 and 45, Caulfield with 25 and 80, Popovich with 18, Byfield with 11, so Byfield finally played. She's 711 average rating, so he showed promise there in the AHL. I don't know why coach didn't play him. There's nothing I can do about that either, except for, send guys who are underperforming down to the ECHL or call guys up, I can't do much about that. That's all up to the coach as to whether to play Byfield or not. And we unfortunately don't have any control over the coaching staff down here in Chicago, so, it's not much I can do there. So, but I'm glad that Byfield got some time. And Lockmore with 6 points in 51 games. Defensively, Martin Stephenson with 48 points, 716 average rating. Colby Verche with 33 points, 654. Connor Novak 15 and 608. Semenov with 15 and a 650. Let's check forwards average ratings. Everyone above a 7. Bishop, Kupari, Landstrom, Byfield, Caulfield, Suzuki, Blomqvist, Kendry, Popovich, all above a 7. So there you go. There's the minor leagues. There's everything covered. So in the next one, we will get to the playoffs. And we will face the Edmonton Oilers in round 1. But we're going to have to do it with Nicholas Rubin starting. So with that, I will see you guys in the next one.